Hello, we're at the ARC Forum in Orlando, Florida. I'm Ralph Rio with ARC Advisory Group, and we have the privilege to talk with Scott Abramson, who is the Director of Operational Excellence at Duke Energy Renewables. Hi, Scott.
Hi, Ralph.
Well, thank you for speaking with us.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit about Duke Energy Renewables and your role there.
Okay. So Duke Energy is a very large utility, the largest in the U.S., and a piece of that business is the renewables business. And so that is a key piece of our business. And to be competitive in the energy sector, you need that piece of the portfolio to perform. And my job as a Director of Operational Excellence is to help those assets perform at the highest level of uptime and provide the highest level of generation that we possibly can.
So that sounds like a very good set of goal, uptime, operational performance and stuff like that. But can you take that down a level and talk through some of the issues that you're facing to achieve those kinds of goals?
So the energy business is a very competitive landscape, and when you have renewable assets in your portfolio, you have to have them generate at the highest level possible, which means the highest level uptime. And in order to do that, you have to be able to capture the asset's health. And the way we do that is with data capture. And so it's very challenging in this environment that we live in today to capture the right data because there's so much data that comes in. And so that's one of our biggest challenges. And in order to perform for our company, we have to make sure that we put all of those types of things in the right bucket to produce the right output.
So I'm hearing renewables, data acquisition, but something tells me that it isn't that easy. Can you talk about a little bit about the challenges you are facing or maybe the issues in achieving that higher uptime with data capture?
Yes. So we have multiple systems. We have our Pi Historian. We have a smart signal application. We have SCADA data. We have data that we have to bring in from our financial portals, and all of this has to be meaningful. And today, it has to be right at your fingertips. And if it's not, you lose productivity, you lose generation. Essentially, you could lose the asset. So we had to look out there in the marketplace to find something that could help us put all that in one bucket that was meaningful to us.
One of the things, subjects at this conference that is getting a lot of interest is the Internet of Things.
Yes.
And what you're talking about sounds a little bit like that, capturing data from a variety of assets, bringing in central. So could you, but it's an ambiguous term, the Internet of Things. Could you perhaps relate IoT with what you're doing?
Yeah, so IoT, just the I itself, is really what this platform is all about. Bringing smart technology to your asset. And so, like I said previously, we went out to the market to try to find someone that could help us do that, a company like Genpact. So what we said is, hey, Genpact, come in, look at what we have, look at all the data that we have, look at all the systems that we have feeding our assets, and help us decipher it to a meaningful level. Give us the I-turbine or the I-wind, the things that are catchy but meaningful in today's platform.
Wow. So I got a little bit of a concept about what the solution is: data acquisition, central platform for visualization and analyzing the data. Could you now transition that to the business benefits? How did that help you achieve better operational excellence, which is the role that you have?
So every company has metrics, and you have to achieve those metrics a certain way. Those that can do it quickly, efficiently, and economically sound, sustain. And that was our goal, was to be able to do that. So there's some key phrases in the industry today: advanced analytics, prognostics. So we wanted to capitalize on that, and that's where Genpact came into the fold to help us put that together. And the term that they use is stitch it all together. So we like that term. We're going to coin that phrase, even though they came up with it.
That's fine. You mentioned Genpact a couple of times, and I know that they were involved in the project. Could you talk a little bit about what Genpact did to help in either the implementation or execution of the project?
Right. So what we felt Genpact had the specialty of is taking data from all these various sources, pulling it together and making it meaningful. But what does meaningful mean to us at Duke Energy? What we really want to know is, what is the potential failure that we could be looking at? What is the maximum uptime that we can achieve? So what they helped us do is realize that there is a failure curve at a component level, and then we could apply that to the fleet level.
In this context, what does a fleet mean?
So a fleet, when we're looking at it in our context, is our wind fleet. So we have over 16 wind farms, and we have over 18 solar farms. And so we are focusing on wind right now, but we'll bring that to the solar farms as time goes on. But again, on a fleet level basis, if you can take all of your data and look at it on a fleet level, you can really plan what needs to happen, especially with your maintenance costs, with your critical spares, all the things that encompass work management and producing megawatts to go out to the grid.
So part of this is anticipating a failure before it actually happens, and then doing some repair to prevent that failure from occurring to achieve higher uptime. Could you talk a little bit about maybe the higher level business benefits for that higher uptime?
Right. So when you're making megawatts, you're generating revenue. And so in a big utility, the largest again in the US, when we look at that type of asset, we want to know what is the maximum uptime we can have, because what does that relate to? Bottom line. So we have to produce for our shareholders.
Wow. So I'm hearing higher revenue, better shareholder value. That must make executives very happy. But I'm sure it wasn't an easy path. There must be some things that if you could talk to yourself when this project started, what advice would you give yourself in terms of lessons learned or things that you perhaps would do a little bit better?
So because we were traditionally a thermal business, and so we had coal-fired assets, gas-fired assets, and now we went over to the renewable business, which is the new sexy way to generate power, we didn't really apply those basic learnings that we had from that old business. And that is starting with how you capture data and how you want to look at it so you can generate the most out of them.
Scott, this has been a very interesting conversation, taking the Internet of Things and relating it to real strong business benefits, increased shareholder value. Thank you very much. This has been very interesting.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
We've been talking with Scott Abramson of Duke Energy Renewables at the ARC Forum. Thank you for listening.